What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome, oh, welcome. This right here is a GM build with the Stoicism, Heart of Inmost Light, as well as Armamentarium. We're going to be using this bad boy with a roaming super because they got that juicy buff, so we're able to spam our super as often as humanly possible. Now, it is pretty awesome what they did for our roaming supers because they were definitely underutilized, but with the Stoicism, we're also able to spam our abilities. So like I said, we got the Spirit of Inmost Light. Using our abilities empowers the other two abilities, granting them improved energy regeneration. So we have two grenades, our melees, as well as our shield. For our second perk, we got Spirit of Armamentarium, like I said, giving us an additional grenade charge, so helps us in the Inmost Light aspect of it because we're going to be able to spam both the Armamentarium side of it as well as Inmost Light using Consecration as well as double grenades. For our Prismatic Titan, we're going to be using our Blade Fury because, like I said, roaming supers absolutely juice. We're able to spam this thing all the time, plus it's very good in that end game content with Suspend and Stunning Unstoppable Champions. For me, Towering Barricade, Strafe Lift, and then a Frenzy Barricade, so we can use triple Consecration as well as Glacial Grenades, so we can get that slow on enemies with our artifact that we got going on. Plus having two of these with 3 Consecrations is absolutely disgusting. For me, I did go with Knockout, so we can have that melee and range be increased with damage too. Well, we also get some amplification going on with this build because of everything that we got going on. Facet of Courage. Arc, Solar, Void abilities deal increased damage to those affected by darkness debuffs, which we are getting with our super, with our just normal melee, as well as our Glacial Grenade. When we have Sever with our kinetic rapid precision hits, getting that burst to go on, pretty solid in my personal opinion. Plus, it'll help us to get even more of Courage to proc. Facet of Balance. Rapidly defeating targets with light gives us melee energy. Darkness gives us grenade energy, so another way for us with Inmost Light to spam our abilities, which we're already spamming pretty heavily. Facet of Awakening. Rapidly defeating targets with light, darkness, or super final blows generate elemental pickups for us, so we're getting a bunch of different ones on this build. Stasis Shards, some Fire Breaches, as well as those Tangles, with last but certainly not least, Facet of Protection right here. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. While Transcendent, this effect is increased, and with this build Transcendent, we are getting almost instantly because of the double stasis grenades with a darkness melee, as well as Consecration actually counts as with like the slam and solar side of it as the light transcendent energy, so we're able to get Transcendent also with this build very quickly. Now for our mods as well as our stats, going with triple 100s with resilience, recovery, and strength on this build, with intellect and discipline tried to go in the middle of the road. Now for me, went with hands-on, so all those Consecration defeats are going to give us super energy, Void Siphon, Kinetic Siphon. We are also getting Orbs of Power, which will help us to spam our super. For us, we're using Font of Focus, so our discipline is also going to go up by 30 when we have armor charge, with all those armor orbs that we're getting created by the siphons is super nice. Plus down here we also have a Reaper, which will have that be able to give us even more Orbs of Power, with momentum transfer, impact induction, allowing us to again internal feedback loop, causing damage with our grenade, and melee is going to give us the other abilities back. For me, in the chess piece, I went with whatever GM I was playing through, with the resistance you can throw on any of these depending on the content you are actually going into with this build. Recuperation, Orbs of Restoration, Absolution. I'm sure you've seen this before, but we have our health get a little bit picked up, as well as all of our abilities get some energy when we get those Orbs of Power. Next off, with those Orbs of Power that we are creating via our siphons as well as Reaper, using our class ability with Powerful Attraction is going to collect them all to us, so we're going to get those armor charge to proc for Font of Focus there with all 3 of these just by using our ability, with it coming back very quickly because of our class item in Inmost Light and that double Armamentarium grenade. Absolutely disgusting combination. For the weapons that we're going to be using, Outbreak Perfected for that rewild rewind routes that we're getting on this for that sever because of our juice in the prismatic side of things. Plus, we're going to be using it for unstoppable. Right, we're going to use barrier with the shotgun, with the Basoyo Fascianato, with that 1-2 punch, adding to our damage with our melees, as well as edge transit with the envious bait and switch, allowing us to do some even more juicy damage on those bosses in that end game content. As for our artifact right here, last but not least, we got our authorized melee mods. So they're cheaper, anti-barrier shotgun, unstoppable pulse, like I said, with killing breeze. Those rapid weapon final blows grant us bonus mobility. Rapid impacts, not using this really besides with our heavy grenade launcher. Total carnage, when we use our finisher, we're going to get temporary damage resistant, which is super nice for that GM type of content. In the thick of it right here, rapid final blows, well surrounded, grant us that armor charge, which for us, again, we're using as font of focus for that extra little bit of discipline. Hail the storm, and we shatter our stasis crystals. So our double grenades with that glacial grenade, we're going to get that slow and damaging effect that shoot out. Concussive reloader, weakening from our heavy grenade launcher, as well as curative orbs, being able to create a bunch of orbs of power for us as well as our fellow guardians. Kinetic impacts, with that heavy being able to cause kinetic tremors basically, as well as unstoppable champions being able to be stunned, as well as our arc void abilities and weapons with Dark Ether Reaper do damage to the stasis debuff targets. So for us, not really getting this to proc as often, but we are with our arc and void abilities, hopefully going to be able to do a little bit of extra damage with that stasis. But with us, we're going to be able to spam our abilities. Like I said, that's really what this build is for. Consecration, we're going to be able to do a bunch of melees. Because of that, we're going to get prismatic, we're going to get transcendent very quickly. We're going to be able to throw our double armamentarium stasis grenades very often as well, shattering them everywhere. It's absolutely disgusting. And then we do have our shield, which we can throw it, give us that powerful attraction for the orbs of power, plus it'll empower our other two with inmost light. So don't worry, you're going to be able to spam your builds, get through any type of content from normal, just onslaught, all the way up to GM raids, whatever you want to go into. So really appreciate all you guys for coming back to the channel. As always, means a lot to me, means a lot to the channel. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe as well if you have not already. It does a lot for the algo, if you know what I mean, as well as you guys will get the notification so you don't miss out on any of these banger builds or god rolls. So again, appreciate all you guys for always coming back. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.